And through my research about how to live as long and as healthy as I possibly can, one thing always came up: Zone 2 cardio. So I committed to doing Zone 2 cardio for 30 days, and here's what happened. For those of you who don't know what Zone 2 cardio is, here's a super quick explanation. 2 is basically steady state cardio where you can hold a conversation. You're not gasping for air, but it's also not super easy. Usually an RPE about 4 out of 10. For me, I found that my Zone 2 range was 125 beats per minute to 140 beats per minute. At that tempo, I was still able to hold a conversation, but I wasn't gasping for air, and I felt like I could keep going for hours on end. So here's actually how I incorporated Zone 2 into my training. For the past 30 days, I've been doing Zone 2 cardio 4 times per week. My training is split up as follows. I do 60 minutes of Zone 2 cardio every Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and then on Sundays, I'll do 45 minutes of Zone 2 cardio. The reason that I do longer Zone 2 sessions is because the research tends to back that sessions over 45 minutes tend to have the most positive effect on the cardiovascular system. So that's why I structured it the way I did. It also allowed me to get the proper recovery needed between sessions so I wasn't overtraining myself. At the very beginning, the primary way I was hitting the Zone 2 heart rate was through incline walking on a treadmill. For me, I had to set the incline to around 15% at a 3 mile per hour speed for me to get in that heart rate zone. I just got super tired of walking on a treadmill inside. It got so boring and it felt like the sessions would last forever. So I ultimately decided to change up my Zone 2 training to be outdoors with nature. So in doing research on what Zone 2 activity I would enjoy the most, it really came down to cycling and running. Cycling was a little bit too dangerous for my area. I also tried rucking, but my heart rate wasn't getting high enough to hit that Zone 2 threshold. So it kind of left me with running. And this is where I really fell in love with the training. And it seemed like my sessions just went by super fast. So if you're looking to incorporate Zone 2 into your training, research different ways that you can actually hit that Zone 2 heart rate and try to find the ones that are the most fun for you to do. Because ultimately that's how you'll stick to the routine long term. So after 30 days of consistently hitting this routine and training Zone 2 more than 200 minutes a week, here's what I found. The first thing I noticed is my resting heart rate dropped substantially. Before Zone 2 training, I was typically sitting around 65 to 70 beats per minute as my resting heart rate. But as soon as I incorporated 200 plus minutes of Zone 2 per week, my resting heart rate dropped to the 50s. And some days were even in the low 50s, like 53 beats per minute. And I'm very happy with that improvement because I have heart disease that runs in my family. So any way I could put less strain on my heart, the better. Secondly, my overall conditioning drastically improved. And this was interesting because I noticed it after strength training sessions and also cardio training sessions and also just in my day-to-day life. I didn't feel as tired after lifting sessions. I was able to sustain the Zone 2 range for much longer by the end of my training. And my recovery after my workouts was also greatly improved. Also, just day-to-day life things I notice. I live on a top floor of a condo building and I always take an effort to take the stairs because it's an extra workout. I was less gasping for air when I reached the top of the staircase. Now these all might sound like small improvements, but over time, these are going to make a huge difference in not only my cardiovascular health, but my ability to do common daily tasks as I get older. So there were many clear benefits of Zone 2 training and I will absolutely keep continuing it. But the real question is, did I lose any muscle? Because that was my biggest fear. As someone who's always been skinny and typically considered a hard gainer, it's always been hard for me to put on muscle. But the real question is, was I able to keep it all? And I can proudly say not at all. And surprisingly, I actually gained 3 pounds. And I think it all stemmed from the fact that after training Zone 2, I was super hungry. So I was just eating a lot more food. And all my meals were packed with protein to help rebuild muscle tissue. And during my Zone 2 training, I was also training consistently each body part twice a week. So in the end, it was mainly just calories in, calories out. And if anything, I actually felt way more athletic. Also to note, Zone 2 training was really enjoyable because not only was it not super exhaustive, but it's super sustainable. You can do it pretty much anywhere. It's not mentally exhausting and it doesn't crush your nervous system. So it all begs the question, was Zone 2 training worth it and will I continue Zone 2 training in the future? And I can proudly say absolutely yes. I'm gonna continue to train Zone 2. I'm gonna continue to reap the benefits and feel amazing. And I'm gonna aim for around 200 plus minutes per week. And I'm super happy that I tried this experiment and see how it felt in my body. I highly recommend you do the same if you've never tried Zone 2 training. Now I see it as a primary part of my training and a really good insurance policy for the future. Get out there and give Zone 2 a try and let me know below how it's impacted your life. And if you're into health, wellness, fitness, longevity, I make videos documenting my journey of becoming the healthiest version of myself. So if you're into that type of stuff, I'd love for you to be part of my community here on YouTube. So feel free to hit that subscribe button if that resonates. I'll see you next time.